highly organized list maker. Like, so her and I compliment each other. And we always people used to think we were spouses. Because not only do we work together, we also have a joint bank account for business purposes and such. So we would go in, and we were booking a venue one time, and quite a while later, the lady said, "I just realized you guys are just best friends and not married." Funny. But we complete each other's sentences, and what a beautiful thing that this business has brought us together. I still remember when Sandy and I first met. She was actually my day home provider. This was well before Juice Plus. And she was the only person in the world that I felt comfortable leaving my little boy to. And it was just painstaking to even go back to work for 5 or 6 months in between my 2 pregnancies. That was the only time I worked while having children. And we developed a bond right away. She would say to me, I would come home from work, and I'm sure the moms in here can relate, when you're pregnant, you're growing a baby, you're working all day, you have another one at home, a toddler, and my toddler was busy as heck. This kid would tear the house down. And then I would get to Sandy's house to pick him up. He's grumpy, tired from the whole day of interacting with people. And she would say to me, I put this big, beautiful meal in the crock pot. Do you want to come in for dinner? I would almost cry. Yes, please. Because my then husband worked out of town, and I didn't have anything planned. And so we became fast friends over these meals and started connecting over our vulnerabilities and sharing our truths with one another, and really realized that we had a soul connection. So to be able to go into this business together has been absolutely such a blessing. And I remember one of our conversations over a bottle of wine, because that became our kind of thing. We would get together once every couple of weeks and have a bottle of wine, and that would be our escape from our children. And one night we were sitting there and we were saying, couldn't we figure out a way to be home with our kids, but also make money? There's got to be a way. There's got to be a way we can do that. Didn't somebody trade a paper clip for something bigger, and then they traded that for something bigger and bigger and bigger, and then they got this house out of it, and and there's these stories of people being really creative and figuring a way to use their skills and their God-given gifts to earn money at home. And we could travel the world and all this, and then we both burst out laughing and had another glass of wine. And we're like, that will never happen. But anyways. And didn't realize that we were manifesting this way that we could be ourselves and earn an income and raise our children and travel the world. We really thought our travel days were over. That we also said we're so lucky we traveled when we were younger, and never thought that we would get back to that till retirement. And now here we are out on the island. Like I said on my Facebook post this morning, I opened my curtains and just oh my gosh, there's the ocean, there's the trees. Here I am traveling as an independent mom and still living my passion and purpose and making an income more than I ever would have imagined. When Sandy came to me about this business, she came home from that event and was like a dog with a bone, and I had already decided about the product. I'm like, oh my gosh, now I have to listen to the business pitch? I don't want to do the business too. And so I shared this a little bit last night, and I won't go too deep into my business story, but I really, really drug my feet. I was just kicking and screaming into this business. And so many people that you'll hear get up here that have had success did not want this, did not see the potential in this business. So if you have a prospect that you're sharing with, or somebody's in your heart, and you see this, that you would love to work with them and travel with them and live life with them in a deeper way, then just keep going, keep loving on them, keep dripping on them, keep showing that you're having a good time and sharing your experience with them from the heart, and eventually when the time is right, they will join you, and you guys can have success together. And so for me, the journey has been a lot about self-love and self-worth. And I remember when I first started this business, and Amanda reminded me of, when I started. So being back here is a real full circle for me. So I was here 3 years ago, and I had just hit QNMD, and things were growing, but I was in such a different place in my life. I was fresh out of a broken family. I was finding my self-worth in this business, and thank goodness for that. But just coming through all of that, the recognition, the support from this community, the ability to be seen here. Isn't it something that we all crave as human beings, to show up and have people see us? Brené Brown says that that's one of the most important things in life, that everybody wants to be seen. And when you feel that you're being seen, whether it's from a partner or your children or your friends or your coworkers or peers or whoever it is, you feel complete as a human being. And I so believe that, and this community has totally done that for me. And the personal growth that I've gone through in this last 4 years in this business is irreplaceable. I could have spent $10,000 going to a Tony Robbins session and never come out of it with the personal growth that I found here. You know, going through this business, it will bring up the dark side of you like you cannot believe. And so everybody always shares the light-filled moments, you know? But no, there's rejection and there's heartache. And there's people that will laugh at you. And it brings up all these insecurities, these childlike insecurities in you. But it's your opportunity to grow from them. Because other people's opinion isn't what you are. You are just like everybody else. Everybody has this beautiful soul, but we have these scars and these pains and these experiences in life, and we see our soul through that filter. And so as you go through life and you grow and you get better, you learn to accept and love and have gratitude for those scars and those experiences, and you learn to become who you truly are. You really step into the genuine and authentic you. And I can't believe that I get to work every day in a community like that. And I get to raise my children in that. And like, I was leaving for this business trip, and right now we're going through a tough time with my kid's dad, and he hasn't been around for months. So my kids are really struggling when I have to leave them. And so thankfully they're with my sister this weekend, and they're gonna have a lovely weekend. But they were not happy about me leaving. And my son Lincoln, funny, and so many life lessons in this business that I get to give to my children. So he said, Mom, I don't want you to go. I don't like when you're away. What if anything happens to you? All these things come up for my kids. And I said, you know what? That's not going to be the case. Like, don't worry, Lincoln. Let's say a prayer together. And can you send me some good vibes? Like, I need your good vibes because it's hard for me to leave you too. And he was like, why would I send you good vibes? I'm missing Jaywalker's Jamboree because of your weekend. And so I got to have this beautiful conversation around, yes, it's hard for you. But even though it's hard for you, can you send me some love? Because I need it. I need it to leave you. I need your strength. And he was like, okay, Mom. And he did it. And how cool is that for a 7-year-old to be able to do that? To be able to get past his lack, right? And see that he needs to help Mom. And the other thing I got to teach him about coming here this weekend was, I made a commitment in December. I didn't know how life was going to be in June. But when we make commitments, Lincoln, we stick to our commitments because people rely on us. And I love that through this business, I got to teach my son about sticking to his word and having that value in his life. Like, that's just one of so many lessons that have come through. And then, of course, once I got here, I know that my soul needed this time on the island. My soul needed you guys. I needed to recharge and get energy from everybody because I'm going through a lot of change right now, too. So it's so meant for me spiritually to be here, too. And I'm so grateful to be here. So that's just a little bit about me.